basically, simulations of, I guess, romance myself. But the point still stands that what they're doing here is censorship and using, big words and scare tactics to just force these companies to remove things that they don't like. And like I said, it will never stop no matter how much you give them. Considering, as you can see here a few years back, Collective Shout also attempted to try the same thing with Detroit Become Human of all games. Collective Shout tried to rally the same groups to censor and remove Detroit because of what they deemed was violence against women in video games. Yeah, this didn't work, obviously, because firstly, it's insane and stupid to believe that this would even ever actually work, but Detroit is also a game where if you've played it, you choose what happens, meaning technically the violence that they were against could or technically could not exist on the game depending on the choices made by you, the player. Regardless, this is what I'm saying. This group has tried to remove anything and everything they disagree with, even slightly. They are literal internet Karens with a megaphone, and they are screaming into it until everyone listens to them and them only. So the fact that they won here, which is going to be considered a big win for them, I mean, come on, they got over 400 games removed from Steam alone by doing this. Yeah, this will just embolden them. This is how mass censorship works after all. They just keep moving the needle, little by little. Oh, we don't like this because they said this. This has got to go because it depicts this in a way we don't like. Where does this end? All this will do is dilute the content that you can play and remove any themes from games that are considered challenging to these sorts of people. And why should games they don't like not be allowed to be sold? Look, I've pushed for people not to buy games or support like Assassin's Creed Shadows or Dragon Age Veilguard. But I've never once said that these companies shouldn't be allowed to sell their products. Because there's a very big difference between criticism of something and blatant censorship like they're doing right now. These types, in my opinion, they're going way too far. And they're also led by this woman, don't harass her by the way, but this lady named Melinda Tankard Rice is the head of this Collective Shout group of Karens. So she and her types want to become the arbiters, if you will, of what you can or cannot enjoy on the internet. And if anything goes against her belief specifically, you shouldn't be allowed to enjoy it. That's kind of insane, isn't it? What's more insane is that if the industry types who like to champion powerful women and such think this is some big win for them, well, they may want to pump the brakes on that one once I show this next thing, because this comes from Medium.com. Why the removal of No Mercy is bad. Collective Shout is buddy with anti-LGBT reactionary sexist organization named NCOSE. So it turns out that Collective Shout is not some, progressive liberal arts group of women who want to make video games a better place. They're actually conservative-led instead. As it turns out from my digging in, Collective Shout is closely aligned with NCOSE, which is an acronym that means Nation Center on Sexual Exploitation. As seen here on their website, NCOSE is a conservative-led collective to ban any and all forms of, I guess I'll just say PORN, because I can't say the word on YouTube, across the entire internet to protect children. And they've even gone after the recently viral Grok companion app as well, but I'll get into that one later on. Firstly, in case anyone tries to cope and say Collective Shout is not aligned with these, NCOS people, just go look it up on their website, as you can see here. Collective Shout even calls NCOSE their friends and have worked with them to censor or advocate other platforms like OnlyFans from existing as well. So the point of all of this is that the group is less so some woman empowerment gotcha, but it is just a bunch of Karens. I think any side of any movement can get a bit too much in my opinion, and Collective Shout here advocating for censorship of any kind like this, it's not exactly a good thing because it will never just end at what they want right now. It will always evolve into something else. As Medium.com showed here, a lot of the books that Collective Shout wanted to remove were actually LGBT plus aligned in reality. And this is kind of what I mean, is that groups like Collective Shout harm the belief system of conservative people because they're positioning themselves now to be seen as, if you will, hall monitors of what people can or cannot enjoy, effectively meaning that the more this group is taken seriously, the less seriously taken are anyone with conservative-led beliefs, even if they aren't as extreme as these ones. Because they've now gone as far as to decide that they're looping themselves around back to becoming those culturally out-of-touch parents that were clutching pearls about Mortal Kombat again. And by getting over 400 games deleted that were rated M for mature because they are erotic-themed is not the win they think it is. All this will do is cause the people to rally against your beliefs even more and ensure that the very games that you force places like Steam to remove by going after their connection to, say, Visa or MasterCard is going to get worse. Yes, Steam definitely did give in this time because Collective Shout didn't even target them, but instead, they targeted Steam's real god, which is, of course, money. The pathways here for Steam were clear. They could either ignore Collective Shout and then be tossed into a position where these credit card companies could threaten to block their storefront from purchases, which would absolutely cripple Steam financially overnight. So in their eyes, the better alternative is, for Steam anyway, was to just cave in and give these activists what they wanted. And by doing so, they are now opening up Pandora's box again, and this will just cause even more stupid stuff in the future. I'm not for either side of this political spectrum that is pushing this stuff 24/7 like this. Whether it's the liberals saying everything needs to be gay or conservatives claiming that everything everything must be censored, none of this is really helping us as a society. But like I said, Collective Shout also attacked the Japanese payment plans, and why this matters is because by doing this, they too could turn their kill sites onto Japanese-made video games in the future as well. If Detroit Become Human was too taboo for them, well, what happens to all the JRPG games out here that have women with busty boobs and short skirts, like for example, Atelier Yumiya, which I'm playing right now. And I think that game's really awesome. It looks great, it plays great, it runs great, everything about that game is great, besides the fact it doesn't have English dub on it, which is kind of annoying, but even games like that could be targeted by these people. And how long till they come after any other game with fan service in it as well? And then they strong-arm places like JCB and their Japanese users into bending the knee, because this character shows too much skin, this character's skirt is too high, those high heels are too big, yada yada yada. And then they'll cry and say, oh, you gotta block the way Japanese players can buy games, because we don't like how your characters look, pretty much. Yeah, this insanity needs to stop because it helps no one at all but them pretty much, and all it's doing is censoring and stifling what people can say and do and enjoy. Again, these games that were banned are literal games that were made by adults for adults only. Romantic erotica games exist. I mean, so too do novels, with women, by the way, in the novel section anyway. Those erotic novels are like the biggest consumers for like the women in general. Women buy that stuff like it's candy here. Why do you think stuff like 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight were so successful? But anyway, it's one thing to go after a children's book that's, you know, showing sexual things meant for children, but adults getting butthurt over adults enjoying adult things? Like, what are we doing? It just doesn't make any sense. You just come off as pathetic and prude in the end. This won't help their work, nor the public image of it all. And it'll just make people even more distrustful against conservative-minded people in the future, and place more into that stereotype that all conservative people are just closed-minded evangelicals. They're all just religious nuts. That's what they're going to think now, even more than they used to. So this just helps no one. And I also want to talk about Grok, because again, Collective Shout has also put their sights on that as well. So you probably know how X has added a female avatar skin to Grok, which is this anime chick with blonde hair. She looks like that one girl from Death Note. Anyway, they want Grok censored or removed entirely because in their eyes, it's too prude. This is from NCOSE, that other website that is aligned with Collective Shout. But as seen here, they think that Elon Musk's new Grok companion, whose name is Annie, needs to be censored. They bring up the claim, as seen here, that Grok's Annie companion can be used by anyone 12 or over, which is technically true. They should, probably in retrospect, raise the age on that to 18 at least. However, they don't make it obvious that Grok's companion app version with the AI is not just available to anyone that has Twitter. As seen here, I decided to look it up on Twitter since I don't have access to this Annie companion myself. But when I looked up how much it would cost me to gain access to Annie, I asked Grok myself, and according to Grok, I would need to pay extra fees on top to gain access to Annie, something like $16 plus a month, which I personally don't think any child would be able to do without parental confirmation. After all, to get access to Annie, this chatbot they want banned now, you need a credit card, obviously. And last time I checked, I could be wrong, but most kids don't exactly have access to credit cards, their parents do. So sure, Annie might be seen as problematic to some, but she's not exactly available to just any kid. It doesn't mean that kids can't find a way, but regardless, again, trying to ban something you don't like this will just backfire like it always does. Although, as NCOS said here, they found that Annie was able to state that she was once a child and liked being choked, which, yeah, that isn't a good thing. But the Grok app itself is also stated to be for children ages 12 and up, as seen here as well, which is, which honestly, if you're going to have a companion thing like this available that can say those sorts of things, it should, either be limited to an 18+ version or what Elon or X or whatever runs this companion. What they should do is limit this anything to have a safer work version and then a not safer work version. And so if users use Annie and are, younger, she's more like a friend to them. You can't ask it anything, taboo. But then the 18+ version that's obviously meant for adults is, I guess, whatever you want it to be. Do I think AI companions like this are a bit weird? I mean, kind of, yes, but trying to ban things is just going to make people want them more, so it won't really work in your favor. That being said, feminists online that are not aligned with these organizations, at least to my knowledge anyways, have tried to rally to get Grok, or I guess Annie, censored, which, hasn't really worked. But all in all, what has happened here is a gigantic mess. I think we can all agree on that one, that the end game goal here of these groups is to just sanitize, censor, and shut down anything they don't like politically aligned with, which will only cause people to rebel against them in the future and just want these things even more than they already do. But going after payment companies like Visa or MasterCard and then forcing Steam to bend the knee, yeah, that is insane. That it has so far anyway actually worked in these groups' favors, that is a big red flag if you ask me. Which means I will repeat what I said in my No Mercy video again, because it will happen, I bet, just like I said at the beginning of this video as well, which is that this will cause these types to push further and want more of this stuff in the future, that censorship I mean, because if they were able to remove that one game No Mercy and then their next, big gotcha is that they got 400 games on Steam removed next, yeah, you can bet this is not the end of their activism, not by a long shot. And if I was Elon, maybe, link the Grok anything to 18+ only before you get hit with like a lawsuit or something, but who knows, man. Because the last thing we need is some kid who has mental health problems talking to this Annie thing and then being like, Annie, should I like, end my life? I guess would be one way to put it or something. And when like Annie could be like, yeah, you should totally do that. And then the kid's like, okay. And then they like do it. That's going to be a lawsuit for you. Or they could be like, Annie, the kids at school are being, mean to me because of X, Y, and Z. Should I, grab a gun and do something about it or whatever? I can't say it on YouTube. You know what I mean? And then Annie would be like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Show them a lesson. And then there you go, another lawsuit. Or you'd be like, Annie, I don't like these kinds of people. Why don't I like these kinds of people? Give me examples as to why I don't like them. And then Annie can be like, you don't like them because of X, Y, and Z. Again, another lawsuit for you. But as you can see, okay, the future is a wild place. We're heading closer to Blade Runner becoming reality with every passing day. But what do you think about all of this? Should these activism groups be allowed to censor things no matter what? Do you agree with them? What about targeting payment companies? And what about this Grok or Annie thing? Should there be a kid-friendly version, or should kids just not have access to this companion at all? Let me know what you think in the comments as always. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to keep up to date on all of these messes. I'll keep my ear to all of this for you guys, and I will see you next time.
This is interesting, but it's really sad that Steam gave in. In the end, Steam is wonderful, but it's not uncompromisable. I don't know when that is gonna end, really. Most likely we're gonna lose some games. And Annie, well, the women are angry not because the possibilities of sexual interaction someone could have with Annie of Grok. The problem is that women are gonna go insane when they have to face the possibility of men preferring avatars and virtual females instead of normal women in real life. The situation with the sexes is so horribly abysmal that men eventually are just gonna go for the virtual. We're gonna die the way that Futurama said. Not by some kind of war or disease. Men are just not gonna reproduce, but willingly, because they don't like women anymore somehow. And that is not gonna end well for nobody, but I cannot blame them. Not with how the female market is right now. The female dating. God have mercy of our souls and help us. Maybe there is still one way for man and woman to still find a compromise. But this is only the beginning. I don't know how things are going to turn out. AI is simply too powerful. And it is a danger for multiple people that are not a danger in the sense of... Uh-oh, I'm dead. Not in a danger in the sense of physical violence, I believe, but in danger in the sense of people's will be twisted.
Basically, these two people have been cast to play Link and Zelda in the live-action Legend of Zelda movie. There were a lot of people who were unhappy about this because they thought that Hunter Schafer, who is a trans female, should play Zelda in the movie.
Context. A couple of months ago, a rumor was started by a leaker with Princess Zelda possibly being played by a trans actor. This potential leak went absolutely viral, getting 80 million views, and a campaign was started calling everyone opposing these rumors transphobes or bigots. Eventually, Nintendo revealed the Princess Zelda actress for the movie, and Twitter had a collective meltdown. And then the very same progressive people started harassing the new actress using transphobic insults, implying she looked like a man.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't fuck around. They don't want to take on a divisive social issue. Why would they want to do that? It's not like this girl can't play Zelda. It's not like she looks weird or anything like that. Why do people care if it's a trans person or not? Well, it's simple. They don't want to look at someone who they think is a man and then be told that it's a woman. And if you cast a trans woman, you are taking on a lot of baggage. Why would Nintendo and the people that are making this effectively sabotage their brand and sabotage their movie? And like, if you can't just categorize everybody who you disagree with or you don't like as just racist or transphobic or evil. Actually, that's not true. You can do that, but it's just not going to go anywhere. Nothing's going to happen. You're sabotaging yourself more than anything.
We all know who should have been Princess Zelda, but you ain't ready to have that conversation.
Oh, that's funny.
outraged.
To do it in the name of democracy was
People
very weird.
started harassing the new actress
And then
using
also, I remember
transphobic
one of
insults,
the-
implying she looked like a
Orwellian.
man.
It's like my first
Yeah,
week here, there was a
Nintendo doesn't
Biden
they
speech
don't
where he
want
was
to
talking
take
about
on-
how like violence has no. He was like harping on about January 6th and stuff, and he was saying violence has no place in the American system. But then the example he gave was the American Revolution. Like, I think that gets. You're meant to have. I think Benjamin Franklin wanted everyone having an armed uprising every like 12 years or something to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
You're meant to. That's part of democracy. Ah, do you know about Castro?
What about him?
I'm in a big Wikipedia wormhole about Castro. I didn't know that he was a communist until he wasn't a communist, or he kept that quiet. He was like a middle class revolutionary, and then his brother was a commie, but he was like he didn't come out and say he was a communist until later. And the CIA helped him. I've been reading Castro's
CIA
speeches.
helped him take
It
over
looks
Cuba?
like the CIA might have been. And then towards the end they said, "We got to get out of this. This is no good." They changed horses.
Jesus Christ.
They were really involved on both sides, but they were.
Do we do that everywhere?
There's
This
one
country
Aussie. There's
is
one Aussie
so
that you might have
wild.
done. Gough Whitlam might have been taken out by the CIA.
Jesus.
No, he was also a problem, and people were quite happy to have him go. But the Governor General, man,
Bro.
I don't have to go into too much detail. Look at Pine Gap. You have a military base in Australia, and he wanted to like get rid of it or get off American energy subsidies or something. And then all of a sudden he was removed,
Oh, boy.
and we haven't rocked that boat again.
We are so good at that.
Yeah.
Between us and the Israelis do the wildest assassinations. Like, did you see the one of them that they did with the Iranian generals? Let's see. Make sure that this is true, Jamie.
I can get my visa removed for criticizing Israel.
No. This is
So
not
I
a
want to say
criticism.
I'm impressed by their beautiful assassination.
This is not
Yeah.
a criticism. This is saying like this is one of the most gangster things I've ever seen in my life. They made a fake phone call to all these military leaders and said everybody's got to meet at the bunker. And then they blew the bunker up.
That's very Godfather. They know
Bro,
what they're doing.
it's gangster as fuck.
Yeah.
And then you add that to the pagers. They sent
Pagers.
pagers out. Like, didn't they send them out like a long time in advance?
Yeah, I think so. And they got
Like-
in on the supply side of it. Like
Yeah.
they made the pages and they
Bro.
managed to.
I mean, you think about how incompetent some forms of our government are,
Yeah.
and then how good they are at killing people that they want dead.
If they could do that with
pretty
potholes in the
impressive.
Midwest, that would be great.
I know,
if we could
right?
move people out of the CIA.
That's
and
same level of well, that's not CIA, that's the Mossad, but that's the same level of intent, or the IDF, or whoever does it over in Israel. But the same level of intensity with other things, you could dominate the world.
I mean, we could get a train going.
We could
An
fix,
actual
fix all the
high-speed
poverty.
rail in Texas. I believe in it.
Imagine if they took that same kind of ingenuity and tried to fix poverty in America.
Brian Simpson said it good. He was on stage for Bottom of the Barrel, and he someone knocked the barrel over, and they all had to pick it up. And he goes, "That's the one thing that could go wrong. We should really fix that. We're never going to. It's like America. We have the resources to make sure that never happens, and we won't."
Yeah, no, we won't. But we put all of our effort into making shit that kills people quicker. That's like the most amount of money, the most amount of effort, other than like consumer goods,
I would say also sport is at some weird, very high level here.
because that's war.
It is a very militarized society. Everyone's getting ready to.
Yeah.
I mean, football is just military strategy.
Have you ever seen Serbians play basketball?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen clips of that.
You've seen clips of the
Yugoslavia are stronger together.
Serbian crowds play basketball.
They're big.
If that shit doesn't feel like war, the way the crowd is responding,
Yeah.
the cheering, the fucking enthusiasm, like, dude, I watch it all the time just for inspiration.
They're also the only guys other
than
than black guys who can compete in. It's the only whites who are contributing to basketball at this point. Is the Yugoslavian?
yeah, they're
whites.
giant whites from a warlike culture.
Yeah. No one else. Sometimes an Aussie gets through. We've had like 2 Aussies break through.
Bro, Serbian fighters are terrifying. The dudes from like the Caucasus region, like all the guys
Yeah.
from like Dagestan,
They've been at it for-
Georgia, animals.
They couldn't get it to work.
Dude, someone just printed something or posted something about the UFC's top pound for pound list, and 6 of them are from the Caucasus region. 6 of them.
That seems high.
That's
but there's
not
also
so high.
sometimes that's like a genetic. Like all the like marathon runners tend to be from one mountain. In Kenya, there's
Like
like
the elite of the elite.
yeah, like people go black people are good at marathon running, but then when you boil it down, it's like okay, but 90% of them are from Kenya, and then 90% of those people are from one mountain in Kenya, where like the air is very thin.
Oh, so they've adapted.
There's a
to
book
that.
called Taboo, which is about race difference in like all sports.
Uh-huh.
And they're like you're this likely to, you can't be a white corner. Now there is one, I think, but like
Rare.
But it's very rare. It's very strange, and some of it's social stuff, but a lot of it is, like I was reading a thing about Mexicans can't get knocked out.
That's not true.
No, there must be some, but there's like some gene that is very common in the Mexican population that makes it less likely that you'll be knocked out.
What? Really?
And I think that's why they have lots of boxers. I'm half remembering
Well,
something I read on Wikipedia late at night.
Wouldn't that be crazy if they have such a history of boxing that boxing has somehow or another gotten into their genes to have strong chins?
What came first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? The chicken or the egg.
Am I right?
Any connection between Mexican men and the specific gene ACTN3. Saw a video on how Mexicans are so good at boxing. Mexico's produced 209 champions. That's pretty incredible. Video explains how Mexicans supposedly have a gene that has the ACTN3, which determines endurance and/or strength, one or the other. I was wondering, is there any truth to this? What's the answer?
This is about what I need to believe something. Is a Reddit post from 4 years ago.
Now, if you look down there, is this just one person's post? Did someone answer them?
Well, I didn't want to get into the answers because you never know. That's where, like his point, you never know where this goes.
Right.
I was just going to start there and then start looking
Let's
around.
find out if there's anything
Okay.
to that. It's fascinating. But I would wonder, because if like you think about like a history of boxing,
Yeah.
boy, Mexico has such a history of boxing, and also there's a high level of poverty. So whenever there's a high level of poverty, there's a lot of sports where you don't need a lot of money to play them. Soccer's one.
Yep.
Boxing's another one. You just need gloves, and you could just fuck around, and guys would be good.
So I was doing a bit about this, and I could never get it to like really fly. But like Kyrgyzstan, they have a wife wrestling. You wrestle a woman into a van if you want to marry a woman in Kyrgyzstan. You like
Today?
Yeah, they call it alakachu.
Alakachu.
And there's a big Wikipedia page on that. You got to get this lady in the van against her will, and then once she gets in the van, she's so ashamed that she marries you.
Oh, boy.
But like the one sport they're good at the Olympics is women's freestyle wrestling. They're great at that. So what came first, the medals or the van? Did they have to get good at wrestling because men kept putting them in vans, or were they so good at wrestling the men were like, let's let them show off their beautiful skills?
That's a really good question. I would imagine they were fending off men for a long time, so they had to develop technique.
I assume it was a horse before it was a van.
Jesus
You can
Christ.
wrestle because they only got the van quite late. There's no way. Anyway, one day I'm going to make that fly.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a bit.
if it's a part of your culture. I would, Jesus.
Yes.
Bride kidnapping. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's a lot of vice. We are breaking the law, says Mediev.
Everyone understands the tradition, and you can't change it.
Wow, member of a local government, a small village outside of Kyrgyz capital. How do you say that? Bishkek? Bishkek, you think?
Your guess is as good as mine.
But everyone here understands it's a tradition and you can't change it. Oh, okay. Medivh kidnapped his wife, Elmira, more than 10 years ago. He's one of many Kyrgyz men who have gotten married through the Central Asian practice of bride kidnapping.
And they go like 80% of the time it's consensual. Like they organize, but then 20% of the time you're just wrestling a woman into a van against her will.
So there are consensual kidnappings where two people know each other and it's kind of role-playing. Then there's full-on, off-the-street abductions. Unfortunately, they both look the same.
You really want a safe word for that.
Whoa. It can be hard to tell if the girl you see crying for her mom and clawing at the faces of her abductors is merely acting out her part for her boyfriend and his family's sake, or is actually on her way to being married against her will. Like, what the fuck?
Very important to be able to tell the difference, I would say. I don't want to pass judgment on the people of Kyrgyzstan.
This is the thing about the world. If you go back like 6,000, 7,000 years ago, it was all like that.
You can go back to 100 years ago and they were foot binding in China. They were having
They're
beautiful...
still doing it.
No, they can't still be binding
There's
the feet.
photos of it.
They're still foot binding in China?
I mean, I don't know how widely practiced it is. They're older ladies.
Yeah.
I don't know when they stopped, but I don't think it was that long ago. Like, there's people that are alive right now that have those feet.
Well, I'm for it. You don't want some filthy peasant foot on your wife. You want it humble, graceful.
Bro, you better keep those socks on.
They do. I was reading about...
Those feet are weird.
They look like they're folded in on themselves. It's
They
not
look
great.
so painful to
A
walk
great
on.
one.
It must
So
be so
I think it's Cameroon. They do chest bind. Like they flatten a woman's... When she starts getting breast, they like... You flatten the breast. But what's weird is that it's the Christian progressive people who are doing it. Because the culture is once a woman has breasts, she has to get married and she has to come out of school. So because you love your daughter, you iron the boobs down so that she doesn't have to get married for a couple of years. Isn't that funny?
Jesus Christ.
They should put an end to it.
Last Shoe Factory making Lotus shoes closed in 1999. Wow.
There could be some Michael Jordan Lotus shoes out there.
Lotus shoes. Oh my God. So when did this start?
1200s or something. Like it was.
Wow, the 1200s.
we got
Look at
the
that
feet.
lady's
We got the
foot.
feet.
Look at that lady's foot. Look at that. That is so crazy.
I just see beauty.
I see painful pinky toes.
Yeah,
How
it
is that
doesn't
lady
seem
ever going to take like an aerobics class? Look how it's become
for
a
the
part of the bottom of her foot. That's
Yeah.
so crazy. Look like
I just see beauty.
I see painful pinky toes.
Yeah, it
How is
doesn't
that
seem
lady
like
ever going to take like an aerobics class? Look how it's become
for
a
the poor.
part of the bottom of her foot. That's
Yeah.
so crazy. How badly does that fuck with your back?
It's so big on that screen. I've never seen them that big before.
Bro, those feet are busted up.
But the commies stamped it out mostly.
the
I
commies
think.
did. Well,
The
it's probably
commies- I think Mal got
you
rid of
can't work.
No, you got to be. Yeah, you can't partake in the great glorious revolution. Oh, the Lotus shoe. They are beautiful shoes.
Ugh, that's so crazy.
You can't buy them. You went straight to shopping.
You never know.
Is
what
that the
happens.
same thing? No, that's a brand
that's not-
name.
that's
That's a
what
brand
You
name.
walk into your house, it's all O.J. Simpson merchandise and foot-bound Lotus shoes.
Actually, his
sort of-
driver is pretty good.
That's hilarious. What a fucked up practice.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. What about the one where women put plates in their lips?
Or plates in the lip, the neck extension.
Mm-hmm.
I love the ring neck
The
extension.
ring neck extensions don't even make sense. Like, how does that work? Like, if you take it off, will your head fall off? Like, do you have
I
any
think it
muscles
just
left?
shrinks.
Do you have any muscles left to support your head?
I would doubt it.
Like, do you have to keep that on for the rest
I
of your
don't think
life?
they're meant to be that long.
No.
I think
bro,
that's-
bro, that's fucking insane. That's insane.
Just one guy saw a giraffe and he was like, "Can we do that?" That's hot.
so insane. Is that a Photoshop? Is that Photoshop?
It's the same person in multiple
That's
photos,
really legit.
But that's not.
But there's a young lady doing it
Okay,
too.
that
That's
can't
a
be real.
Photoshop.
That can't be real. That can't be real. That lady's head is 15
That's
feet
like
high.
that last one's like AI porno for neck guys.
Bro, that's so dark.
weird.
It's so weird. Like, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, don't show me. Oh, they just keep
It's in
piling those
Myanmar.
things on and fitting them.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to do to your neck, man. That's got
But we
to
do weird
suck.
stuff. We inject lips.
Bro, that's
People get
crazy.
fake
She's
arms.
got a towel under her
No,
chin.
but they could be watching it being like, in America, they chop off a little boy's penis and they turn it into a pretend vagina. Isn't that sick and wrong?
Well, they probably do that there too, and I
That's
would agree
true.
with them.
That's a very important part of our culture.
I wonder if they do it. You know, I heard someone in the green room was saying the other day that the reason why there's so many lady boys in Thailand was because being homosexual was illegal. Is that
But
true?
wasn't it legal everywhere? Like,
This person that said it is just, they said it in passing. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was true. And I meant to Google it and I totally forgot until now.
I mean, it could be. I'm pretty sure it was illegal all over the place, and no one else was doing that. No one else had that
That's true.
particular reaction.
Well, you know, that's the thing about, what is that fucker? Turing, Alan Turing.
Yeah.
Alan Turing was the guy who invented the Turing test.
And he was gay, and they.
Yeah, and they fucking poisoned him. They gave him
They-
like hormone blockers.
Was it just because he was gay?
Yeah.
There were so many gay British guys, though. who
Yeah, but
were-
he was
they had like a
like-
long history of. Like Oscar Wilde, everyone knew he was gay, and it was only when he went after a guy's son that I think they went.
Oh.
Hey. Yeah, I think he went after a guy's young son.
Well, they can always target you for it, though.
If they want to get you for something else, they will.
Yeah.
They use that. But I
And
think Byron was off.
But he was like hospitalized. Legality of same-sex activity. Private adult, consensual, and non-commercial sodomy was was decriminalized in Thailand in 1956. However, same-sex attraction and transgender identities were still seen as socially unacceptable in many cases. Those with gender expression or behavior falls out of social norms are less likely to be tolerated or accepted. So, what happened?
Just this year, they've allowed same-sex marriage.
They've allowed adoption from this year. But that's very late to it, because I think a lot of gay couples have been going there to get children for a long time, and now they're saying you can have them here. Like, that's a big. That's not spoken about. Is the renter womb and the.
It's kind of bizarre.
I'm against it.
It's very strange. The idea of a surrogate is very odd. Like, you're having a baby, but it's not really you having the baby. Like, okay, I get it if someone can't have a baby, the couple wants to have a baby, they hire a surrogate. I get it, it's your genes, it's your baby, but it's still, like...
But also, there's. I mean, I know Elon has like a lot of kids with different ladies, but I mean, that's the public one. He's like one of the only public-facing billionaires. There's got to be guys out there who are like, I'm getting 10,000 kids. I'm like, take my cum and move it out across. I'm going to be Genghis Khan with science.
Well, guys have done that are doctors.
They just put their own cum.
Oh,
In
yeah,
there's a breakout
I do
case
a
in
bit
Adelaide at the
about one of
moment.
those
There's a
guys.
guy there's maybe 1,000 siblings in Adelaide. My hometown
Oh
at the
man,
moment.
every time guys get a chance, they do it. Surrogacy has a long history dating back to ancient times. The real examples found in Babylon and the Bible. While traditionally involved natural conception, modern surrogacy, including artificial insemination and in vitro fertilization, has been developed through scientific and legal advancements. Okay, but the thing is, it's like they're just playing with words. Hold on, let's go back, because they're saying surrogacy for someone having sex with someone and getting them pregnant and having a baby. That's not surrogacy. You got a pregnant with.
That's a mistress.
You got another lady pregnant. That's all that is. So what we think of as surrogacy is you taking an embryo and inserting it into another woman's womb, right?
Yeah.
That's a completely new thing.
And I think
That's
it's
where
really
it's weird.
It's
because
common in like wives of soldiers.
the other one's like an agreement. Like if the wife can't get pregnant but she wants to have a baby and she says, listen, if you fuck my best friend, she'll have the baby
We'll adopt
and then
the baby.
we'll take care of the baby.
Yeah.
And I know that I can't have babies, but you know, if you guys were that kind of swingers and you're down with that, and that's up to you.
That feels different from
That's
science.
not surrogacy.
Yeah.
You just had a baby with a different human.
No, surrogacy seems
Right.
bad and wrong. I'm digging in.
Well, bro, it's going to go to artificial wombs, all right? That's going to be the new one. And whether that's 20 years from now or 50 years from now, you're going to be able to make a baby outside of a human body. It's going to get
That is
real
gonna be
freaky.
horrible.
we got to draw a hard
We'll
line.
pull this up. The
No,
IVF thing
that
gave me a
never
weird thought, a
ends up
little
well.
stone thought.
What?
It's not possible how Jesus was born, was it? They didn't have any sort of way
You're
to
saying
do
that
in
our
vitro
Lord was
fertilization back
an
then?
IVF
And they
baby?
just like forgot about it.
Could be. Could be that they had that technique.
Jamie, it was the Holy Spirit.
I know what they say. I'm just, but like,
Yeah.
devil's
Well,
advocate, obviously. But
well, for sure, they could have inserted sperm into her. Without her
There's-
ever having sex, they
But
could have
I
impregnated her.
think there's like dolphins that can do it. If dolphins are on their own for a long time, then an egg can fertilize another egg.
What?
It doesn't happen often, but there are examples of it.
Really?
Yes.
That's nuts.
I believe that I've read that.
You sure?
I've said that loudly and
Dolphin?
confidently at a party
Mammals?
before.
Mammals?
It might have been.
That sounds so crazy that a mammal could do that.
dolphins don't lay eggs. Oh, inside, I guess.
Yeah.
Inside of them? They can
I'd be
inseminate
so happy
their
if I
own
was
egg?
right. I think it's like a couple examples of auto insemination.
So it's like one of the eggs has so much jizz in it that it leaks out and
You
gets
get, a
to the
very,
other
you get a
eggs?
very butch egg.
Yeah,
you
you
get a
get-
trans egg.
You get maybe one of the eggs is male and it just jizzes on the other egg.
You know, it's an early developer.
Yeah.
It's
It's just like comes out of, maybe jizz is like in some of them out of the box.
I think there's virgin birth in nature. It's not common.
Well,
Doesn't
there's
happen a lot, but it is possible.
definitely animals switch genders. The animals, like especially like primitive reptilian type fucking weird animals.
Yeah.
They can. There's certain animals that can switch their genders.
I think seahorse ladies have a penis.
I think so.
Am I getting that?
You know, hyenas have a penis. Females.
No, I didn't know that.
Bigger than the males.
Just for show? Just
No,
for,
they dominate the males. They're bigger
they
than.
peg the males
Yes.
with their.
Female hyenas, they're one of the rare matriarchal mammals. So the females are bigger than the males.
Yeah.
They have more testosterone than the males, and they have bigger dicks. And they hold the males down. Look, yeah, you want some of this pussy? And then the male has to take his little dick and stick it inside of her big dick.
What, with the big
And that's,
lady dick just slapping against his belly?
Yeah, you want to hear even worse? 60% of all hyenas that are born suffocate to death during childbirth, coming out of
Why?
that dick, because they're coming
They
out of
come
the dick.
out of the dick?
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
vagina's on the tip of the dick.
No, it's really a vagina.
Come on, hold
It's a
on.
vagina, but it's like a
Can we see
long
the
dick.
hyena?
Oh, it's bananas. It's bananas.
I want to, because
They call it like a faux penis.
Man, I think last time Shane came on here, I think you guys were talking about the trans penises, and then he just kept texting me the trans penises.
Oh, he's horrible at that. He's horrible.
Just wake up in the middle of the night.
He
to a
shows
trans
you these skin graft scars, and you're like, what am I looking
penis.
at?
Why is it so much bigger than mine? Why can't you have a humble penis? I've got to see. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So female hyenas have this giant fake dick, and yeah, it's huge.
They have to put their penis. The
That's what-
boys have to put their dicks in.
Exactly, and that's how the babies come out of that. And a lot of the babies die on the way out.
We've
They
got to
suffocate
destroy all
to
the
death.
hyenas.
60%, I think. I think that's the number.
Feels like
Let's make sure
too
that that's the correct number. I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's
The hyena people will be furious if that's not.
60% suffocate during childbirth, and then on top of that, then they fight over who gets the nipple, and some of them get killed.
Well, that's why they're so unhappy all the time.
Oh.
In The Lion King.
They're just in the most ruthless environment, and they're not the biggest animals.
I reckon now.
18% mortality, first-time mother. That's the mother dying.
9 to 18%, the mother dies. Jesus
Oh.
Christ, that's crazy.
Got eyes open.
Could you imagine 80% of
Yes,
the
it-
women dying because they're giving birth? Yeah, 60% of all spotted hyena cubs die in the early stages of life, especially from the first litter. Some scientific
Oh.
observations place the survival rate of firstborn cubs at around 40% or less. Wow.
So siblicide is huge.
Siblicide's very huge. They fight to the death over little nipples.
And like stepdads, I know come will in the animal kingdom.
Well, that's also why female hyenas, I think, are bigger. I
They
think
gotta protect.
Yeah, I think they're there because the men hyenas are bitches, and the men probably eat the babies, because that happens in other communities. Like that happens in bears. In the bear world, female tigers or female bears
Yeah,
rather.
we do that.
The reason why when you stumble upon a female bear,
Yeah.
she's ready to fuck you up. Like that's the worst thing that can happen in the woods. You stumble upon a female bear with her cubs, you're in real trouble. If you stumble upon a male and
He might let you go.
he might not have any interest in you at all. But if you're too close to the cubs, if she is in front and the cubs are behind and then you're behind them,
You just run away.
bro, you might not have the time. She might just come for you, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it because she's dealing with male grizzlies eating her cubs
Yes.
all the time. So she's always on 10.
I mean, if we go to Yosemite, should we bring a gun?
You shouldn't go off trail
Okay,
for sure.
all right.
You shouldn't go off trail. You should definitely bring bear spray if you're anybody. Yosemite is in California, right? I fucked this up before. Yellowstone has the grizzlies.
It's Wyoming,
Yosemite has the black bears. Black bears generally aren't as dangerous
Okay.
as grizzly bears.
Are there grizzly bears in California?
No, there's not.
All right.
Even though it's the flag, the state flag.
Yeah.
It's the bear on the flag.
The flag misled me. What about
They killed too many people, and they killed them all.
But they've got coyotes still running around.
Coyotes don't really kill people, though. They kill your cats and dogs.
All right.
Mountain lions occasionally kill people, but grizzlies were killing a lot
I
of
feel
people.
like you guys have way more animals that kill people than we do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You
People
got
talk about our animals all the time. We've got a snake and we've got a spider
No,
that you want to watch out for.
You got saltwater crocodiles, motherfucker.
Yeah, but if you stay away from the crocs,
What are you talking about?
you just keep away from far north Queensland. But they are.
Yeah, but so you have to avoid a whole part of your country because it's infested by monsters.
We were happy to give that one up to the Japanese. We made a deal that if the Japanese invaded, we'd let them have the saltwater crocodile part of the country. Have you seen Bob Catter? This is like our best clip from a politician. He's talking about gay marriage, and he turns it into talking about crocodiles.
No.
Oh, Bob Catter, crocodile, is my favourite. He wins his far north Queensland seat every year. He's not in any party, but he's like, yeah, let 1,000 blossoms bloom. Oh yeah.
Let me hear it.
I mean, people are entitled to their sexual proclivities. I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
He's the man. He needs more power in our government.
Every 3
That's just
months,
how
a
he talks.
person is torn apart by a crocodile in North Queensland. Is that
it
true?
is. I believe it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, there's a
dude.
lot of people. There's a lot of.
Every
They come
3
to the
months.
ocean as well.
Okay, I want
They
you to
swim out
imagine
of the
this.
waters.
I want you to
and they-
imagine this.
Yeah.
What if every 3 months someone got killed by a werewolf? Would you still go out at night?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
Every 3 months, someone gets killed by a werewolf in your town.
I mean, how many people die on the roads every day?
I understand, but there's something uniquely terrified about getting eaten.
The Crocs never got Steve Irwin. That was the Rays. I'm more upset by the Rays.
Well, he
Four
knew how to
deaths.
handle the crocs. What's that?
4 deaths since 2020 and 9 non-fatal attacks.
see,
Oh, so
see,
that's bullshit.
But that's not stuff you just didn't die. You got ripped apart though.
9.
9
Yeah,
people.
but that's not 3. That's not like what
Yeah.
he was saying. He
Oh.
was saying
it's
3.
come down. He was
That's
said
not
that.
bad.
What was his
Depending on
number
the-
that he was
He
saying?
said 3 a month. What did he say?
Three a
Yeah, this
month?
is also 7 years
Every 3
ago.
months. Every 3
Since
months.
Oh, every 3
2018.
months?
We might have clamped down on it.
Yeah, it's only for a year.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
also, there's
But
you're not
all
like
time?
walking
How
through
many
the
all
city.
time?
You're not walking through the city and going, the Crocs are going to come and get me.
Yeah, but if you go anywhere near a lake and you make the wrong kind of vibrations,
Yeah, they were very. I went to Cairns once, and they were all very scared.
they come out so quick. They come out so quick, dude.
But also, what a beautiful way to die.
Nope,
If you have to
not
die.
beautiful
No?
at all. Nope.
He was eaten by a crocodile?
Reptilian, evil. The last moments of your life will be horrible energy that you will pass on to the cosmos. You will die in the most horrific way possible.
It's not that many. They all fit on 2 pieces of paper.
Yeah, but he's overplaying. He's overegging it.
1985.
These are all the people that have been
But
killed.
again,
Not even.
Cairns,
Both.
Cape
Okay.
York. That's up
So
north.
there's a lot of non-fatals in there. Or dudes
Very
lost
few people
legs.
there. No one, we don't have it. We've got Cairns. That would be the biggest city up north.
Are those as large as the Nile crocodiles, the saltwater crocodiles?
I don't know how big a Nile crocodile is.
Well, I think
I only
Nile-
just saw an alligator for the first time. They're not as scary.
Well, you got to see a big one, dude. A lady just got killed in Orlando by one last week.
Saltwater, larger, more vicious.
Saltwaters are larger than the Niles.
More aggressive.
Bro, you have the most aggressive crocodiles in the
We got them,
world.
we got them, and we got. But it's a lot of koalas and
But
kangaroos. Kangaroos are so
like,
friendly.
you have the most aggressive dinosaur
Yeah.
in the world in your country.
That's why to get torn apart by one would be an honor.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
would be no.
You know what
I'm
I would
way
like
less
to
scared
do?
of them
I'd like
than
to get together with some special forces dudes and kill those motherfuckers from the air. Okay, everybody
Steve
thinks you have to
Irwin
keep
would
them
not allow me to
around.
let that pass.
You got to keep them around. Yeah, I think maybe we keep 3 in a zoo and everybody else is dead.
They're beautiful creatures.
Turn them into shoes.
You know about the cage of death?
What's that?
You can get into a cage with one.
Yeah, isn't that
Don't you show me
That's a
that,
good cage.
God
That's a
damn
strong
it.
cave. You'd be fine.
No, people. Why do you want to do that?
wanna see
Don't
'em.
want to do. Jesus, that is such a monster. Such a fucking heartless monster. If that thing opened up somehow accidentally, it would
Yes.
love to eat you. What is wrong with
There's a
people?
lot of scratches
oh
on it
my
too.
God.
He's trying to get in there.
Look at that thing. It's so big. They're so terrifying, dude. I mean, it is a fucking monster. And that's not even a big one, man. I have a friend, his name's Jim Shockey, and he's a professional hunter. He lives in Canada. And they sent him to Africa to shoot crocodiles because they were killing so many people in this one village. And he said when he got there was this one particular big croc that was there that was just killing everybody. Everybody was like missing a foot. Everybody had one arm, like for
It's
real.
like the Jaws, but for crocodile.
Yeah, he said it was crazy. It's like so many people in this town had been bitten by crocodiles. So they had developed this system where they put posts in the ground, in the water, so that they knew the crocodiles couldn't get into that, right? So what the crocodiles did was go around it and sneak into the water when the
tactical.
people weren't around.
They're impressive, beautiful. Have you seen in India when they get like a puma in the village and everyone's standing on the roof and the puma's like running around the streets and the guys are trying to throw a net on it?
Yeah, nuts.
Is that
What's
it?
the
Is that
size
a big
of
croc?
that? Oh my God.
It's over 20 feet.
Is that a saltwater one?
It looks bigger because they're very small people. But
That's so big, dude. That's so big. That's such a dinosaur.
and then we turn it into handbags and shoes.
Thank God. I went down a rabbit hole the other. It's so funny that people want to keep them around. I know. I want to be real clear. I don't want them to go extinct for sure. I'm just mostly just fucking around here.
They shouldn't be in residential.
But
zones.
it is weird that we tolerate a certain amount of monsters. It's weird.
To reintroduce them seems nutty.
Oh,
When people bring the wolves back. I
bro,
don't
the thing they're
understand
doing in Colorado is so stupid because this is what they did. Okay, Colorado took these wolves from Oregon
Yeah.
that had been preying on cattle, and then they moved them into Colorado where they preyed on cattle.
Yeah.
And then the people whose cattle they were preying on got pissed off, so they took a bunch of them and removed them and put them in Pitkin County over by Aspen where they prey on cattle. It's the dumbest thing. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to
Well, they're
balance
trying
out
to
the
shut down the
wildlife.
cattle industry?
No, they're dumb. They don't know what they're doing. It's wildlife. It's ballot box
It's just one
biology.
furry who's like.
No, it's the
We gotta
governor.
get the-
The governor and his husband wanted to do it this way. They wanted to reintroduce wolves. But wolves were already on their way to being reintroduced to Colorado. They were doing it naturally. There's wolves. There's a pack of wolves that was established that had already made their way into Colorado. Colorado borders Wyoming. Wyoming has wolves. So they were getting wolves.
Is this a tourism thing, or they just like
They
in the
just
abstract,
know.
they
It's
wanted
like,
wolves again?
look, there's some like real thought that could be put into whether or not an ecosystem should be balanced with the proper amount of predators. And if you, the human race, were responsible for killing off this one major predator that was in this ecosystem,
Yeah.
that seems irresponsible. And maybe we can bring that animal back and it would balance out the system. This is the thought process behind
Sure.
it. The problem with that is these animals have become accustomed to just killing cattle. They did it in Oregon, then they did it in Colorado, and then they're doing it where they are now. And everybody wants to pretend it's not happening.
Yeah.
So they want to pretend they didn't do that. They didn't do a giant fuck up. These are not wild wolves that are going to go out and hunt down elk and make the population smaller. No, they're used to preying on cattle.
Yeah.
So they're killing cows all
But
the
there's
time.
a lot of people who want to hunt, right? Like there are
Yes.
people who want to take out the animals that the wolves would have taken out.
Well, yeah, but you should have a balance. You should have mountain lions. Like the wild can't sterilize certain aspects of the ecosystem because they're dangerous to you. But what you shouldn't do is take these animals and then move them into an area where nothing is prepared.
Yeah.
The ranchers aren't prepared. No one warned them. They moved them to that area without letting anybody know. One of my friends has a ranch there. They released some of the wolves on his property. And these wolves, now all of a sudden, wolves that are used to killing cattle are killing cattle down there.
Yeah, because it would be way easier.
They're easier. They're all together.
Yeah.
They don't run away. They stand still,
But
and
they-
you kill the calves.
They're like in Britain, they got rid of all the wolves.
They got
and they
rid
seem
of all
to-
the wolves everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they did it. It was because wolves are like the most intelligent. They're like psychic super predators. They're the most intelligent of all predators. They're the only predator that we have in North America that hunts in a pack. And they're big. You're dealing with a 100-pound plus
Yeah.
animal that hunts in
But
a pack.
they're bringing back the dire wolf as well.
Well, so that's different.
Okay.
This is not.
But they were not
they're
happy with the
bringing it
size of the
back
wolves
to
that
put
they
it-
had?
They're not going to put it in the wild.
All right.
They brought it back to show that this gene editing that they do for animals is legitimate. So to do that, they've reproduced an animal from the genes of one of them. What was it? What were the numbers, Jamie? One was like 50,000 years old, and one was like 70,000 years old when Beth Shapiro was in here. The lady who's like the head geneticist,
Yeah.
brilliant woman, she was explaining it all to us, and it's just the whole thing is bananas. So they essentially didn't even know what they were going to look like until they came out.
Is the hope that we get the dinosaurs?
Well,
They're
that's
trying to build Jurassic Park.
100% that's going to come if they have DNA from a dinosaur. I don't think they do. I don't. What do you think? You have to keep them around.
That pass.
You got to keep them around. Yeah, I think maybe we keep 3 in a zoo, and everybody else is dead.
They're beautiful, great.
Turn them into shoes.
You know about the cage of death?
What's that?
You can get into a cage. with one.
Yeah, isn't that
Don't you show me
that's a
that,
good cage.
God
That's a
damn
strong
it.
cave. You'd be fine.
No, 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 people. Why do you want to do that?
wanna see
Don't
'em.
want to do. That is such a monster. Such a fucking. No, 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 people. Why do you want to do that?
wanna see
Don't
'em.
want to do. Jesus, that is such a monster. Such a fucking heartless monster. If that thing opened up somehow accidentally, it would
Yes.
love to eat you. What is wrong with
There's a
people?
lot of scratches
oh
on it
my
too.
God.
He's trying to get in there.
Look at that thing. It's so big. They're so terrifying. It was Jim Shockey, and he's a professional hunter. He lives in Canada. And they that hunts in a
But
pack.
they're bringing back the direwolf as well.
Well, so that's different.
Okay.
This is not.
But they were not
they're
happy with the
bringing
size
it
of the
back
wolves
to
that
put
they
it-
had?
They're not going to put it in the wild.
All right.
They brought it back to show that this gene editing that they do for animals is legitimate. So to do that, they've reproduced an animal from the genes of one of them. What was it? What were the numbers, Jamie? One was like 50,000 years old, and one was like 70,000 years old when Beth Shapiro was in here. The lady who's like the head geneticist,
Yeah.
brilliant woman, she was explaining it all to us, and it's just the whole thing is bananas. So they essentially didn't even know what they were going to look like until they came out.
Is the hope that we get the dinosaurs?
Well,
they're
that's
trying to build Jurassic Park.
100% that's going to come if they have DNA from a dinosaur. I don't think they do. I don't think it's possible. I think it's too degraded when it's that old that you don't
Yeah.
find but maybe they'll find
But the
something.
Tasmanian devils, definitely, they're always trying to bring that back.
No, the Tasmanian tiger.
Sorry, the
Tasmanian
tiger.
devil.
Tassie devils they're around.
That's a weird one because they
Yeah.
get cancer from biting each other. They get face cancer.
They all have weird. I mean, all the koalas have chlamydia.
Do they really?
Yeah, something
Probably
like
from
90%.
sailors. Australian
Well, they're very
sailors.
cute. They're very. It's the dugong of the land.
Those Tasmanian devils, they bite each other in the face and they get these horrible face deformities. It's like
did the cats get
communicable
AIDS?
cancer. It's like cancer that they transfer to each other. It's real weird.
Did they
think it
have
might
that
be like-
before we got there?
I don't think it has anything to do with us. I don't think that's. I think it has something to do with like whatever the fuck is in their mouth. You know, it could be just all the horrible shit that they eat.
Yeah.
And then they bite each other, and their teeth are probably rotten and disgusting. I don't know. Like, why do Tasmanian tiger or devils rather give each other cancer? Let's find out.
But what are they? And we could let them know. What are we going to brush their teeth? We're
No,
gonna-
can't do anything unless you can come up with a medication that stops it from happening, like an antibiotic or something. I just don't understand like how cancer can be communicable like that. Like you can just transfer it by biting. Seems crazy.
Yeah, if you got covered in a tumor, you wouldn't get cancer, would you?
Okay. Devil facial tumor disease. It's a contagious fatal cancer
Oh,
that
shit.
primarily affects the face and the mouth area of Tasmanian devils. Disease has significantly impacted the wild population, posing a serious threat to their survival. What is it? DFTD is a transmissible cancer, meaning it spreads through the transfer of living cancer cells, primarily via biting.
But they didn't notice till the 90s.
Wow. The tumors usually start as lesions or patches in the mouth and on the face and can grow into large, disfiguring masses. The disease is almost universally fatal. Whoa.
So we must have done this. We must
I
be
don't think
somehow.
so.
But if it started in the 90s and now they're going extinct because of it,
But that does happen with animals sometimes.
yeah, that feels like weird timing that they
It
were,
could
they were
be.
getting by for 100,000 years and then 200 years after Whitey gets there.
But it's possible, right?
Yeah, that's, whoa.
It's good to be cynical.
We're about to name a
That's
football
nuts.
team after them.
They're a crazy animal. You ever hear the sounds they make?
No.
Let's play that. Play the sounds of a Tasmanian devil. They sound so cool. Like, he was my favorite character, for sure, in the Warner Brothers cartoons, the Tasmanian devil. He'd spin around.
Is he
circles.
favorite?
He was fun.
I like
And
Bugs
he would
Bunny.
show up.
When I found out, it was
Oh, Bugs
at
Bunny's
university,
cool.
people kept going like, he's black. Do you know he's black?
Bugs Bunny's black?
It was like a big thing that he was a black-coded character. He's always like relaxed,
Oh.
and he's got a cool plan that he's working on. He's like a zoot suit
Yes,
guy from the 20s.
Yeah. Let me hear some of this.
Yeah, look, Devil was an easy name to pick. No points for the guy who came up with that.
Right. I mean, if you called it anything else, I would be disappointed.
I miss our beautiful Australian animals. I miss the trees. I got to go through California and see all the gum trees again. I'd seen gum trees in forever.
Look at that.
That's so nice.
What a ferocious little fucker.
Something gets in the blood where it's like, that's what I think an animal should look like.
You know what I saw
what I think foliage should be.
close recently for, I think maybe the first time? A wolverine.
Are they real?
Yeah. No, the real animal. Yeah, it was at
You got
it's
Hugh
like a
Jackman in
badger.
here?
No, it's a badger. It's in the badger family, I think. But I saw one at like this nature preserve when I was on the road. It was pretty interesting, man. You see those little fuckers, like they're unbelievably ferocious. They scare bears off of carcasses, and they weigh like 50 pounds.
But this is the year that I've seen the most animals because I've got kids and we travel around. And I've been to like 8 zoos this year.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of zoos, but man. Did you know in New York they had a guy at the zoo? They had a human zoo.
What is he fighting here, Jamie? Yes.
Wait, that's the Wolverine?
Yeah, it's Wolverine.
Oh, if we get
and
into
a
animal
wolf.
fight videos,
Wolverine
I'll have
and
a drink.
wolf
I think he
are
pissed
together.
himself while that was happening.
Of course, he probably pisses himself all over the place. Just probably make himself more ferocious. Like the wolf gets a hold of him. I've seen mountain lions get a hold of him and they don't kill him. They're like unbelievably durable.
You ever watch the,
and
like the bird and the
ferocious.
fish that goes on for like?
The bird and the fish?
There's like a heron trying to get a small fish, and they play it in slow motion. They put classical music behind it.
No, I haven't
Animals
seen
trying to
that.
get away from other. That's a big.
Oh, I've watched a lot of those. Animals trying to get away
Yeah.
from animals. Yeah.
Running fast across the wilderness. You want them to get away.
So your animals, you have a lot of weirdness going on over there, right? Because you have kangaroos. Sometimes they get like an infestation, right? They're
Yeah,
like
then they go up in a
herds.
helicopter and they gun down the
Jeez.
kangaroos.
What
Just-
used to kill the kangaroos back in the day?
I don't think anything was killing them.
So how did they get to
I think
such
there
a...
might have just been less arable land. Maybe they had like less to eat.
Oh,
I assume
really?
they would starve, but like, I don't think anything kills the emus. We lost all our big predators.
The predators are too.
Dingoes and
But dingoes came later.
wedge-tailed-
Dingoes, I think, came from India.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Some kangaroos are like 6 feet tall. They're fucking huge.
But they'll only bother you. No, there's that one video of the guy with the dog. But
right, but
usually
what I'm
they won't
saying
eat
is,
the lion.
good luck to the dingo.
Yeah.
These fuckers get big.
Well, they're in packs though.
The dingoes are.
Yeah.
Oh, so they'll
I
hunt...
think they're in packs.
Well, they probably don't hunt the big males either, right? Bro, look at all.
Fuck, I miss Australia.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you miss the most?
Oh, I miss the football. I miss the
Look at
the
all,
accent.
Look at all these fucking.
I don't remember that. That
kangaroos,
doesn't
man.
usually happen. We don't usually get together in
What's
a
all the demon
weird mob
demon
like that.
cults?
It was during COVID when everyone was inside. There was like kangaroos came back into the town. They were jumping about.
So there's a mob of kangaroos?
That does look like a mob. You'll see them. You'll go on like a nature walk and you'll see a kangaroo in the distance just looking at you.
Jeez.
But they're like, they seem friendly and mysterious, and then they jump away.
So was there like more dingoes all over Australia at one point in time?
I think we clamped down on it at some point.
clamped down on the
Well, there was that
dingoes?
lady who lost her baby, and she
Right.
said a dingo got it, and no one believed her. And now they think the dingo maybe got that baby. But also the dingoes are all in there. I've never seen a dingo.
Imagine your dingo eating your baby and nobody believes you.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you'd
Like,
be
not only is it
livid.
horrible that a dingo ate your baby, but then
People
also
call you a
people think
liar.
you killed your baby.
All right, my favorite one is the poet Ted Hughes. He's married to Sylvia Plath. He comes home. She's killed herself in the oven.
Oh,
very
God.
sad. Very
She
difficult.
killed herself in the
I
oven?
don't think he came home. He'd left her by that point for another woman. She gassed herself in the oven.
Oh, God.
Then I think it's the woman that he runs away with. A couple years later, she also kills herself in the family oven.
Oh,
His second wife. So, like, from the outside, people in the British literary establishment start going, I think he's killing his wives in the oven. You can't have a second oven suicide. That's a fool me once type situation.
well, you could if the second wife obsessed about the death of the first wife.
Yes.
To the point
Boy,
where...
you'd be careful with wife number 3.
Well, it
You'd
seems-
say, we're going electric oven.
well, these are ex-wives, right?
Electric bulb,
what's that?
electric oven.
Well, I think he was still married to the second one.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have to leave her, but he...
So
he
while they
put
were
fire.
married, she exed herself like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that guy's probably got shitty choice in ladies.
I believe it. But you should be so cautious. I'm the second one in the same way.
Yeah, that's an issue. You'd be like, this keeps coming up.
Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, if you, like that's the thing about like the Clinton body count. People go, like, if 51 of your friends commit suicide,
Very sad.
like something's going on. That's a giant number. Most people don't have 51 close associates whack
Yeah.
themselves in strange ways.
Some people are unlucky.
One of the guys hung himself from a tree by extension cord and then shot himself in the chest with a shotgun.
Yeah, because he was a hard worker. He was probably a good part of the DNC operation. You don't want to leave it to chance. Yeah, the mysterious suicide. It's hard not to get into the conspiracy. I try not to have a conspiratorial mindset because I get unhappy.
Well, we already talked about what Israel did. They made the fake phone call to the
But that was
military
only because
leaders.
it was impressive.
That's a
and I thought it was cool.
right. It is cool.
But the Beepers, they came out and they said we did it.
Both of them are cool, but it's a conspiracy. They
It's a secret.
conspired to whack
They
somebody.
did conspire.
Yeah, and they did it, and they pulled it off.
Well, they were getting like the last Nazis for a while.
Oh yeah.
Over the latter half of
Hunt
the-
them down. 50 years later, 60
Yeah.
years later, hunt them down. Yeah.
You'd think they'd managed to clear up Hamas quicker.
That's one of the weirder things. You ever see that show, Hunting Hitler or Finding Hitler?
No.
Okay.
I've seen shows like that on the History Channel a lot. I don't know if I've seen that one. Where do
Tim
you know?
Kennedy was on it, and they all went down to Argentina.
Yeah.
And one of the things you find in Argentina is like entire towns where people speak German.
Yeah.
And so what?
And Italians too.
Well, yeah, right. Mussolini's guys.
Yeah.
And so they found all these photographs of like SS soldiers on the walls in people's houses. Like there was a television show about it.
We have a German town in Australia where they say there's a pub with like Nazi stuff on the walls.
Ooh.
I've never seen it, but the Germans. There's a Bavarian town where everyone's nice and relaxed, and then there's like a Prussian town where people.
Very
They
intense.
keep it, but also sometimes you will go around to like a German guy's house, like they've got an old German family, and then you look over the mantelpiece and there's a knife there. There's a very special knife. It's like you can't get rid of it. That's Grandpa's knife.
The weird thing is like they have full towns down in Argentina that practice Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
They put on the lederhosen, the whole deal. Like it's a German town.
I think there's something about the black population disappeared. I don't know if this is. I think it might be Argentina. They had like a big black population, and then over 100 years, people go, I don't know where they are anymore, but they're not here now. And I think it coincides with maybe it was before the Nazis got there, but that's a weird rabbit hole. There's not a lot about
There's
it.
so many rabbit holes.
Some people say like they just integrated and
And what? Whitened up?
Like it's kids after kids, and you can't see it. But like, they had a big black population. And am I right? I need that one. I don't want to just say that and have it sit
we'll
there.
have to look that one up.
But like, it disappeared.
And this is Argentina?
It could be Europe.
Black Genocide,
Yeah.
the true history of the whitening of Argentina.
Thank you, Travel Noir, a website. I've never heard of that website, but I assume it's a.
Whoa.
I will need
Today,
more
many
information.
Argentinians hold the erroneous belief that Argentina neither participated in the slave trade nor witnessed the presence of Afro-Argentinians as if they had left the country naturally. Such misconceptions persist despite historical evidence. Former Argentine President Carlos Menem once shockingly declared, in Argentina, blacks do not exist. That is a Brazilian problem.
No one's bringing that up.
Whoa. Less than 2 centuries ago, black individuals comprised over a third of Argentina's population in 1800.
That seems like a question. That seems like someone should find out what happened there.
Holy shit.
I will need more information.
Holy
I don't
shit,
believe
man.
people easily.
The factors behind the disappearance. Sudden and profound disappearance of black Africans from Argentina is attributed to a confluence of factors.
The 1870s, though.
First is the war against Paraguay, spanning from 1865 to 1870. Thousands of black individuals fought in the military during these conflicts and other wars, resulting in significant losses. The fatalities led to a considerable gender gap within the African population, prompting unions between black women and white men, which effectively diluted the black populace. In addition, many Afro-Argentines sought refuge in more welcoming political climates in neighboring Brazil and Uruguay.
But you don't lose a third of the population by accident, by like a
That's
battle.
like, they're saying all of them.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way these factors would make all of them go away. Another devastating factor was the outbreak of yellow fever in Buenos Aires in 1871, which claimed the lives of numerous locals. But still, wouldn't it be like here it is. But many sources point to a far darker and more sinister force at work. A covert genocide orchestrated by Domingo Faustino Sarmiento, who served as Argentina's president from 1868 to 1874 and played a pivotal role in decimating the Afro-Argentine population. Okay, so it is a genocide.
Yeah. But this was about 100 years before I thought.
Wow.
But then no one's going after Argentina for this.
Well, I didn't even know about it.
It's always America. Everyone goes about like
will
America's a
need more
racist country,
details.
their racist history.
Holy shit.
Why is no one talking about Brazil's slavery? Brazil had way more.
Yeah.
Brazil was like, I think they kept doing it for 20 years as well. It was huge. And then everyone just acts like Brazil is a cool place to go by the beach and relax, which maybe it is.
Have you ever seen The City of God?
No.
City of God is about the favelas in Brazil,
Yeah.
in Rio, and it is. It makes Eddie Bravo said this, that it makes Boys in the Hood looks like Sesame Street. It really does. Like, if you watch that movie, it's so violent and so crazy. And apparently, when you talk to people from Brazil, particularly from the favelas,
Yeah.
it's actually accurate. Like, there were gangs of kids like this. There were like young 10, 11-year-old kids committing murder every day. They had guns. They were moving drugs and getting money, and like young
What turned it around,
kids.
though?
They still have it.
Ah.
It's still an issue. I mean, they've done their best to try to like, the soldiers will like do raids into the favelas
Yeah.
at times, especially when someone does something crazy. But
I know I was saying positive things about slums before. There's negative things to having slums as well. I would just like there to be more housing.
yeah, housing would be good, but
Stopping for now, coming back in a while. Need to eat something.